Sympathetic Magic. The power of the Merkaba. Using your oracle abilities and your mind to transcend thoughts of self. This piece that we did for Judith isn't just for Judith. This is going to be a school and a class that is for the adept. In this school and class, we're really going to delve into dreams and symbology, but we're also going to tap into a technology that seems to have been lost or forgotten, as Moses is coming forward to bring the symbol of a lantern, which is a Merkaba, cracked open, revealing a light which seems to somehow part the waters, either part the waters of our brain or part the waters of reality itself. We're going to focus at the 11 o'clock position because I had a dream, and in the dream, before I did Judith's reading, I was at Judith's energetic self. Her backyard had a spiraling roller coaster like this snake that is coiled, and it was dirty and inoperable. It was broken down, and I wanted to clean it. And I wanted to fix it up. I went into her house, and the house is very clean, very beautiful, but there was supposed to be an upstairs, and the upstairs wasn't there. It was blocked. This means that you don't have the ability to see or hear from your higher self as much as you would like to. You had a beautiful bed and a fire by the bed, but the bed was small. This means that you are going through a growth, and there's some things that need to be cleared and unblocked in your chakras in order for your kundalini to occur. There was a refrigerator, and the refrigerator was full of food, and there was a real estate agent wanting to sell your house. And I was very nice, and the house was beautiful and clean and big. So this means that you have a lot of energy and power, but you had a couple of things that are blocking you, including that your kundalini needed to be oiled, which is an anointing, and it needed to be reawoken or ignited. This is why you asked me for a reading. My higher self actually visited you before your reading. Now, on the right-hand side is your higher self. And your higher self is using a body language that mimics and mirrors the elephant, which is the Aleph. Aleph is the one infinite God source. Both Aleph and your higher self are facing in the same direction. They're both seated in a lotus position, and they both have the smiling Buddha at their solar plexus area, and both of you are holding a crown. Moses comes forward as the star tetrahedron, the Merkaba, and technology of the Merkaba, where a Merkaba can open up, making like a lantern, which opens things not only within you, but also outside of you. But first, you have to envision these things that you see in your art here. The star tetrahedron looks like a star. The Merkaba looks like two triangles intersecting. And then the triangles that are separated that looks like a lantern is what Moses is telling you to envision to help to anoint and activate that coiled snake at the base of your spine so that you could be seated on the lotus flower called the lotus Merkaba. You can see the lion above your higher self's head and the lantern, which represents that this Merkaba separating actually opens portals and gives you the ability to unblock whatever is blocking you from your higher self, because there seems to be a big separation. But I will say that the self that is you on the left-hand side needed a lot of self-love. So the song that was given to you was I Feel Love, I Feel Love. And of course, your piece reflected that very clearly. You're holding a heart. Behind your head is a heart, love. And your want or desire to enter into Emerald City and the letter M, which makes the top of the heart. But unfortunately, in order to make this great crossing from the physical self and break through the barrier to the second floor of your house or to your higher self, we have to go through a deathless death. But we don't go through a deathless death until self-love has been conquered. And so it looks like that's where you was learning to be patient with yourself, love yourself, recapitulate your past, and really balance your emotions and mother and father yourself before you can make the great crossing. And so what it feels like to go through the deathless death is when I dream, I don't dream about myself anymore. I'm dreaming about you or people that I'm about to read for, before or after their reading. I don't matter anymore. Think about it. If you know that you live forever, what do you matter? You don't matter anymore. The deathless death is surrendering worry of self and thoughts of self and balancing low self-worth and self-importance to such a degree that everything that we do is for the service of others. And we work on our mind and our energetic body for others. And it's for ourselves. It's strange. But it is mostly about knowledge, because the more I look at you or people that I read for, the more knowledge I gain about myself, about the world, and about the ability of the human mind. And what kind of reality are we in, and whether what I'm seeing is false or not. So the you that is standing on a book is the you that needs to recapitulate and go back into your past and stand on promises from within you. This is that all the pain or all the anger or all the energies or emotions that we felt in this world weren't ours. We were in a program. And the program is that you are a mirror and you were reacting to a lot of darkness, which turned you into who you are, but it was never really you to begin with. So going through the deathless death is really washing away who we were and taking the best of what we have left over from all the lies and all the manipulation and growing the best and taking that best and turning it into a relationship with our invisible immortal self. And this invisible immortal self and you will get to know each other. And then through this awakening, you will begin to speak to each other, and you might like to know that your higher self has much greater abilities than you. And it knows your future. And so making the crossing to meeting your higher self is very important. But you need an anointing sometimes. And so that I saw this spiraling roller coaster like a snake in your backyard, there was also a roller coaster called the free fall. It's an elevator that goes up and then it lets you go and drops you, right? And this represents that in your life, you raised up to the top and then fell down. And that's what happens a lot. Think of Neo Anderson from The Matrix, who tried to fly and then he fell. It actually happened to me where I flew to the top of a tower trying to help someone else learn how to fly. And they looked down and got scared and fell. And because I was connected with them, I fell with them. The technology of our mind and our double born-again self is really about thought. If you seek first the kingdom of God, flying, dancing, cleaning, connecting, and even thought forms of God, your higher self, you're feeding your higher self magnetism and energy. And unfortunately, when we try to help people, someone else could fall and we could fall with them. But luckily, we can try again. And so your higher self that is on a lotus flower is you learning how to fly. If you start having dreams of flying instead of being on a roller coaster or something that's earthbound, you will know that you are freeing yourself of all that no longer serves you, and that you are gaining power and magnetism to become an oracle and to become great and do great things. So dreams are very important, and what we envision is also very important. I don't know why your refrigerator was full of food, but it could have something to do with how what we eat keeps us from our power. So for instance, I'm allergic to nuts, and coffee makes me very nervous. And as I went through my awakening, I literally wasn't allowed to eat bread or certain foods because my higher self needed to be fed. And in order to do this, I had to make my holy temple powerful. So it wasn't that I overate. It was that things that I was eating was causing a reaction within my body that drained my power and my energy to such a degree that I couldn't cross a barrier. And that's what I'm seeing with you. Once we get past the truly loving ourselves and healing ourselves, we get off of the written word and we go to the unwritten word, where we become an emanation of the one infinite God. So the second emanation of the one infinite source is the number 12. You are the one who is the second emanation. To be in the second emanation means that you are in Pisces, 12 hours, 12 months, 12 zodiac signs. It's a school. And then when you get into the Trinity, you go to the third emanation, then you are the one in the Trinity, which is why you have the letter M over your head, because the letter M is the 13th letter in the alphabet. And then there is another school, and this is called the quadruple school, and this gets you into the Merkaba. The fire tetrahedron is the number 4, and it burns away all that is false, and it will put you through a deathless death. And in this time of your life, if you harmoniously surrender and let go and have done enough work, it'll be easy. But if you haven't recapitulated and healed the pieces of yourself that are false, then it will be difficult. And so your reading actually helped you to transcend a lot of this. I wanted to know if the goddess that we were reading about was you as the crown giver, and Spirit said, no, your name is Merkaba, and that you actually are connected to America. Merkaba is America. And it's connected to Armenia, where Armenia believes America is the child of Armenia. And there's a lot of stories and myths that go with that. But Merkaba is the throne of the chariot of God. It's a vessel of God. And it's the throne that the Creator uses to descend from heaven to the physical realm. So it's the embodiment of the throne of God. So when I said that we should do sympathetic magic, part of sympathetic magic is mirroring God's throne, which is a Merkaba, in order to mirror God. And unfortunately, we shouldn't activate the Merkaba until we are at a certain level of consciousness, because it could burn us. It could actually hurt you. So Merkaba was an angel who was born from the fusion of millions of angels during Lucifer's rebellion, serving as a vessel for God to battle the morning star. Just remember that Jesus was the morning star, and so was Lucifer. They are twins, like twin towers. But there's a third tower, and we'll talk about that another time, that gets us out of duality and takes us to a trinity. So Merkaba was an archangel that was created. And so this archangel was a fusion of thousands of angels. Ophanims, Cheots, seraphims, and cherubim angels. And they were slain by Lucifer. Merkaba is one of the only angels in heaven that can enter God's place within Empyrean. Empyrean. I've never heard of that. The others being the original 5 true archangels along with Metatron. Merkaba was created to deal with Lucifer's rebellion and consistently assists in Michael in dealing with the fallen angel. Merkaba had then become a rival for Lucifer, with both having many conflicts with each other. It's funny, but when I did that portal piece for you, the divination piece that spins, I see Luciferian energy of these priest-like men who are hurting children, and they are being judged or fought or being put into an angel named Athena, the goddess of war. But since the Merkaba consists of thousands of angels, you are many angels. So if you are 1,000 angels, then you are the fourth emanation of the one infinite God in your original form, because 1,000 is the fourth emanation of one. 1, 10, 100, 1,000. That makes four emanations of the one infinite source, which is Aleph, the elephant. So Merkaba is known to be a weapon from heaven, having been used by both God and angels as a weapon of combat, such as in Sodom and Gomorrah, where Gabriel summoned a fragment of Merkaba's body and used it to transform Lot's wife into a salt statue. So remember I showed you, or we saw in your original piece, the lantern is a Merkaba that opened up. And when it opened up, there's 3 fire pits in there. And it does look like a weapon. It does look like a technology that we have forgotten. It's definitely a Merkaba. It's a star tetrahedron. It is something that I've never seen. As a fusion of countless angels, Merkaba ended up ascending and becoming a true archangel, the highest and most glorious level an angel can reach, coming to serve as a chariot and throne for God, where they sit in the 7th heaven with the other angels serving them. So they are neither male nor female. They're made up of many angels. And so your higher self is the mirror of this Merkaba. You're one of those angels that's part of the Merkaba body of angels who fights Lucifer. When the Merkaba manifests on earth, Merkaba can appear as a great white light that encompasses everything around it. And so during the demons' rebellion, where the last vision of the peoples who inherit the Sahara, they were encompassed in a mass of light with tens of thousands of angels surrounding them to defeat the demons. So the Merkaba is a 4-wheeled vehicle driven by the chariot, which are living creatures with 4 wings and 4 faces. According to Ezekiel, it is a chariot made of many angels driven by the likeness of man. And it's funny that you have the red dragon in your piece that is in the upside down world, because Merkaba will work with Jesus Christ and will battle the red dragon before hurling him into the lake of fire, which is why he is in your piece, in the upside down piece. Merkaba also wields a mighty and glorious sword, which, like the rest of his body, is made up of thousands of angels. And these angels are probably male and female. So when I say he, it's he, she. Merkaba is kind of like a Slytherin. Extremely arrogant, condescending, overzealous, and calling the unfaithful who do not obey God filth. But Jesus was like that too. He called a woman a dog. Merkaba is all about law and order, all about listening to the one true God, all about collective consciousness. That's why Merkaba operates with thousands of angels who agree with each other. And your commitment to each other isn't because you love each other, it's because of your commitment to Source or God. You really don't have love for anything but God. And if everyone that you're with loves God, then of course you love them. And if someone doesn't love God or doesn't obey God, you can be condescending and consider people who think that way as filthy people. And I'm not saying that you do this. I'm just saying that the entire body of Merkaba has that type of personality according to what I'm reading here. But there is a level of ruthlessness when you reach the school that is like Slytherin. Because Harry Potter was in a school because he had not healed his low self-worth from the pain of his past. He could not get over his low self-worth or his self-importance when he was being ridiculed by the Muggles. He could not stop looking at the mirror of his past. He wouldn't stop talking about Voldemort. So Slytherin, Draco represents a threat. Draco represents the Draco star system, like a Draco dragon. And he said, lose your mother and father, did you, Harry? Afraid of Dementors, are you, Harry? And so he would use sarcasm to try to get Harry to, hey, stop being such a baby and start doing the will of your higher self instead of your lower self. And he did it in a ruthless way. And this ruthlessness is really just from being tired of seeing human beings be so weak when they could be so much stronger, especially if they unite and do the will of God together. So the man that is holding his hand through a portal is literally talking about the power of the Merkaba that opens a portal every 8 seconds. See, when you're in the curse of Cain for 7 generations and you are on 7 continents, 7 seas, 7 days in a week, 7 chakras, 7 wounds of Christ, 7 metals, 7 musical notes, 7 trumpets, 7 seals, and 7 heavens, that's a prison. The release from that prison is the number 8. And so portals open every 8 seconds and you're being given a shoe. So this means Cinderella, the glass slipper, is the looking glass. You have to be as clear as glass. You have to be nothing and yet everything, no one and yet everyone. Go through the deathless death and allow yourself to do the will of God with all your beloved angels and friends who are your spiritual family. And of course they love you because God is within you. That's the only reason they love you. And so that's why you love them also. And then of course, I don't know how you're going to handle the rest of the world. If you can take on the personality of calling anyone who doesn't follow God filth or dogs, but gods grow, gods change, and their personality changes sometimes too. So you could be the one to say, have mercy or have pity. But you are here to bring judgment and to fight the red dragon. And you are here to do the will of God and to fight. So there is a little goddess of war in you also. And a very serious one that says, I have no time for pity. And so mother yourself and love yourself. Don't judge yourself the way Merkaba judges people who make mistakes. Give yourself peace and harmony to make this great crossing. And just know that you have been seen, you have been observed, and you have been ignited and awoken. And they say that you're doing a great job. You just had a block. And so I hope that this unblocked you and helped you. That really what you should do is do some breathing exercises, watch what you eat, and envision the Merkaba. Maybe carry around the number 8 in your pocket. But on August 8th, which is the Lion Gate, really focus on your joy and your 0 point energy on that day. It's important. Big hugs from me to you. My name is Mary Moses. If you would like a reading, go to forestfairy.com.